back to my channel. This is my second video and I'm so thankful that you guys really liked the first one. Thanks to everybody that has been sharing my links, especially my family. This is something that I really enjoy doing. I'm gonna try to keep up and make videos. I don't have a set schedule for work. It's gonna be here and there when I can make videos, but I'll let you guys know in advance when I plan on posting it. I am on winter break, so that's why I'm going to be popping out videos. I don't know if I'll like save some and then, you know, post them on a certain day. That way you guys have, you guys know when I'm going to be posting. I was looking through Instagram and I follow Eva Longoria, and I've actually been watching her new show, telenovela, where she plays a soap opera actress who doesn't speak Spanish and she has to work with her husband. Well, her ex-husband. She has to work with her ex-husband on the show again, so it's a pretty fun show. You guys should watch it. And have you guys seen her ring? It's a ruby. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. She got engaged. It's so pretty. Okay, anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. She's someone I've always looked at her makeup look and her hair because I feel it benefits me to style my hair and all that jazz. I'm not saying I look like her, I'm just saying like we have similar features, like dark hair, dark eyes, a little bit of olive skin. She's a lot tanner than me, but she's a little petite. I'm petite. I saw her Golden Globes look yesterday and I was really inspired to do it. I don't know what it was. It was just a mixture of all the colors that just made her brown eyes pop, and I fell in love with it. So I thought I'd recreate it in a sense where it's not as dramatic, but it's not exact, but I think it's something similar. If you guys want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. To start off this look, I'm going to apply a thin layer of lip balm on my lips. I've always had chapped lips, so I always start with this step. Next, I'm going to be using a Mirabel Primer. I have gotten this primer in my BoxyCharm a long time ago, and it has a silicone type of feel. I decided to use it because I'm going to be using a matte foundation. As an eyeshadow base or a primer, I'm going to be using this one by Pure. I don't have the distinct name for it because it's rubbed off. I've used it so much. I have decided to do my eyebrows off camera specifically because I am debating whether or not I want to film an eyebrow tutorial. So if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments below. If you guys know me, I used to have an eyebrow mole. I removed it and I'm patiently waiting for those hairs to grow back, so bear with me. The first color I'm going to be using is from Makeup Geek. It's called Creme Brûlée. Taking a blending brush, I'm just going to apply that to my crease. It doesn't have to be precise, so you can be as messy as you want with it. I'm just using it as a transition shade. Next, I'm going to be using the color Frappe from Makeup Geek as well. I'm just going to put that underneath the transition shade, but still in the crease. I'm trying to build depth in my crease. I have somewhat of hooded eyes, so I always try to define it a little bit more than normal. All I'm doing here is going back with the brush I used for the first color, Creme Brûlée, and blending out the eyeshadows. You don't have to do this step yet. I don't know why I just went for Shimma by Makeup Geek to highlight my brow bone again. I don't know why I did it. But Prom Night is the next eyeshadow, also from Makeup Geek. I didn't think I was going to use so much Makeup Geek, but this is the type of shadow I bought, but I never used, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to use it. All I'm going to do is put that in my crease as well and try to define once again my crease. I'm somewhat putting it above my crease at the same time because I want it to look like I have a larger lid space, since like I said I have somewhat of hooded eyes. So all I'm going to do is pack that shadow on. Back with the brush from Frappe and blending everything out once again. All this look is really blending every color together, as well as packing on more and more of the color you want to be present. Next, I'm going to be putting another Makeup Geek eyeshadow. It's called Glamorous. I put it all over my lid and I didn't like how it looked. For some reason, I just didn't feel it, so I decided to put another eyeshadow, and it's going to be Champagne from the first Lorac Pro palette. I thought it would lighten it up a little bit more, but still having that gold bronze sheen coming through it. The last eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, I promise, is Mocha. It is a nice subtle brown that I'm going to be putting on the outer corners. Her eye look had more of a smoky look to it, but I decided to diffuse it a little bit because I wanted to be more wearable. I wore this to work and I thought it was work appropriate. Excuse if you hear any wind chimes or any bells, but I have my wind chime outside and then I have my cat running around. What I'm doing is basically like shampooing, lather, rinse, repeat. So I'm packing on, blending, repeating that, packing it on, and blending. And you can apply as many layers as you want. Taking my gel liner in number 77 from Inglot, I am going to just line my eyes, nothing special, no wing, anything like that. I did it kind of off camera because I have to be up close and personal to make a line, so bear with me as I try to figure out my camera angles. I'm going to be using the Infallible Pro Matte L'Oreal Foundation on my face. I have a little bit of rosacea. I have it mainly on my nose. You can't really tell on camera, but I have a really big problem area on my nose, and it does wonders on covering that up. True Match Concealer in W123. I'm going to highlight my face. I'm just putting it underneath my eyes, on my chin, the sides of my lips, the top of my lips, my forehead, and the bridge of my nose. Don't really have to do this next step. I just find I always have to contour my nose. I feel like I don't have definition on my nose, so that's why I always decide to do it. I'm using a flat definer brush and a dark concealer, and I'm just going to draw lines where I want it to be defined at. All I'm doing is blending that out. But after this, I'm going to be taking my NYX Wonder Stick and just using the contour cream side, and I'm just going to draw lines on my face to try to define my cheekbones. I don't really have high cheekbones, so this is what I always turn to. Necessarily, I don't always use cream. I can just use powder, but today I decided to use both. I'm going to put it where I want to recede those parts of my face, and I'm just going to blend that out. All the brushes and all the products I use, I'm going to put in the description box below. That way, if I'm going a little too fast, you guys can check out what I use. The next step is just blending out the concealer that I had placed. I like to leave it on for a little bit of time, that way it really sits on my face and shows true to color, because sometimes it changes for me for some reason. It's kind of weird. I think it probably oxidizes. But anyway, I'm just going to be patting and, swiping it on my face. I like to pat it more underneath my eye, that way it's not mixed in with my foundation, if that makes sense. It sits on top of it. Got a little bit on my lip there. I'm taking the brush that I used to apply my foundation and blending both of those colors together. To set my concealer, I'm going to take my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I decided not to bake only because I was only going to go to work. If you want to bake, all you have to do is grab some of that translucent and let it sit on your face for about 5 minutes and then brush it off. I'm just applying it where I put my L'Oreal concealer on there. Next, I'm going to be taking a shade off of my Anastasia contour kit and just placing that on top of where I put the contour cream, and I'm just going to buff that out. I used more of a brown ashy color, that way it doesn't affect the bronzer that I'm going to be putting on top of it. I'm using the same shade to contour my nose, but just a smaller blending brush. I find that a little bit easier. I'm taking my Prom Desert Bronzer by The Balm and just going to use a flat brush and apply it everywhere, just so I have more of a tanned face. For blush, I'm going to be using MAC's Margin, I believe. I won this one in that Jaclyn Hill giveaway, which I'm super thankful for. It's that highlight game though. I'm going to be using Laura Geller's Gilded Honey. It's one of my favorite highlighters. All I'm going to do is put it on the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, the tops of my cheekbones, above my eyebrows, on the top of my lips, and my chin. I don't know what it is about highlight. I just find myself drenching in it from time to time. And I actually got this fan brush from Michael's. It was only like $1, so I really recommend you going to get it. Why spend 40 bucks for a highlighting brush? Seriously. For lips, I'm going to be using Brink from ColourPop. I had gotten this in a little package a year ago, maybe. I think they still have it, I'm not sure, but I know they have the individual color Brink. This one came with the liner and the lipstick, so I'm just going to place that on my lips. She had more of a lavender color, but I was going to work and I wasn't feeling the lavender. I decided to put a gloss on top simply because my lips are super chapped, and this moisturizes my lips. I got this one from Revlon. I will put the name down below because it's so tiny I can't even read it. On her lower lash line, she had a green color, so I'm taking Jade from the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and I'm going to take a pencil brush and just slide that across my lower lash line. As you can tell, I forgot to mention that I put on falsies. They're from Jessie's Girl. I don't have the specific name, but I'll put it down below as well. Now I'm taking Prom Night and putting that underneath my lash line. I'm taking my Inglot liner and watering and putting it on my waterline. Taking some mascara, I'm just going to coat my lower lashes. Last but not least, I'm going to be taking Shimma that we used on our brow bone and putting that in the inner corners of my eye just to brighten up the look a little bit more. But that is it. That is this look. If you guys like what you see, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Oh my god, I'm getting lipstick all over my freaking teeth. Yeah, that should help the problem, right? Right? Ah, there. I feel it 10 times better. Yes. Okay, cool. I'm sitting on a pillow now.